Alright then guys, hello and welcome to IFC Tier 2. We are at Portimao today and have been all week. We've had some absolutely wonderful races so far this weekend. And now on to the final two tiers of this beautiful track in the Algarve. Of course, it is our top two tiers as well. We've got Tier 2 now, Tier 1 at 8:30. Do make sure you tune into both. We're on board with AERL James currently. In the Ferrari medium compound tyre for him as he's on his lap. Of course, this is a short qualifying. What tyre these guys set their fastest lap on will be the tyre they start the race on. So they've got to be very, very careful here about which tyre they choose, what strategy they go for. And James is going for what is normally known as the better race strategy. We'll get a slight little bit of slipstream off of Nosman here as he heads into the final couple of corners. Eli and Keep Hyper have set a 17.4 and a 17.9 respectively. Wolf with an 18.1 there. James crosses the line and it's enough for a 17.3. Very nicely done from AERL James. McLaren goes into third place there with a 17.7. All on the medium compound tyre so far. Our first soft compound runners will start to cross the line in just a second then. First one of those will be Lewiski. He crosses the line. And it's enough for fastest, of course it is, 16.8 for him. Can expect some slightly faster times than this later on in the session. I say slightly, quite a lot faster times for them later on in this session. We can hope that will be the case, of course. We're getting pretty close to the, well, I say pretty close to 15s, but I would expect we end up pretty close to 15s as Lau now sets a 16.5 as his banker lap on that soft compound tyre. Weekarber sets a 17.5. Not what he would have wanted there. Nosman coming through the final couple corners of this lap for him. Then what time will it be for the Alpine driver? We saw him starting his lap earlier on from James's perspective. Now he's about to finish his lap. What time can the Alpine driver set? He's looked pretty strong this season. Where can he put that car in this first part of the qualifying session? Activate CRS crosses the line. And it's enough for fourth place. Nicely done from him. Got support for Kilger already in the chat there. Good to see that people already wanting him to get it. Let's create a poll, shall we? Create a new poll. Who will get poll? Got a new setup for today. I've added an extra screen and an extra keyboard. So, well, I say extra keyboard. I've added a screen and a keyboard to do all of these with. So let's go with for options. Wow. Yoga. Let's go with who's a favourite in this one. Of course, Jacob is. And Bassi. Let's finish it off with someone else. Let's not allow additional votes. And let's make it 200. Keep that going for 5 minutes. Start that poll. Right then, back to the action. Lewiski pulling into pits. I think most people will be pulling into pits at this stage, but of course, we have a very important man in Jacob, just starting his lap. We'll stay on board with him for this one as he now heads into turn 3, hits the apex very nicely now, and now up into turn 4. Turn 4, very tricky corner, very easy to spin. We've seen that multiple times already this weekend, but not so far in Tier 2, so he's not doing bad in the slightest. He's doing very, very well here. As he now heads into what is the trickiest couple corners on the track. Most people call this next corner the hardest corner on the game. He's a little bit cautious through there. You can tell he's wiggling that wheel a little bit and making sure he's clean through it. But not looking too bad is Jacob at this stage. Possibly a little bit too cautious, but not bad at all as he heads into the final sector here. Sets a purple sector 2 on his way. And of course, leading the championship by 21 points now got a big lead over his teammate in this one. And then, of course, third is Kilger, fourth is Coy, and fifth is Vizza. And Vizza back after, I think, a 2 or 3 week hiatus. So we'll have to watch out for it and see what he can do in this one. Well, it's actually only scoring points twice this season, Kilger, but Jacob moves up into P6. Vizza currently P8. ERT Wolf, another one of those people that's been quite fast this season, and we'll see what he can do here. Let's have a quick look at the results so far in this poll, shall we? Votes for Lau and Jacob are the only ones at the moment. There we go. Got one for Kilger now as well. So Lau, Jacob, and Kilger, the people being predicted so far. Another vote for Kilger there now, so Jacob and Kilger are equal on votes. Jobbo moves up into P3, and AlphaTauri over the last couple of races have looked very strong indeed. Minute Elephant, of course, the Tier 3 driver, once again reserving here. So fast is he, up into P5 currently. Now P6, McLaren crosses the line, and so does Wolf up into P3. Wolf goes the fourth man to enter the 16s today. Kilger and Lau now the front runners in that poll about who will get pole. If you guys have an opinion, make sure you do sort that out. I didn't mean to click that. I'm very sorry. I have just uttered an ad. I am very sorry for that. Oopsie. And let's get Dan in here, shall we? Hello, Dan. How are you? Welcome to the stream. So for context here, Lau has just gone fastest, Jacob second, Whiskey third, Wolf fourth, Jobbo fifth, McLaren sixth, Elephant seventh, Coy eighth, Nossman 10th, and James in 10th there. Jacob's retired. That is it for him. He's crashed and will not be competing in the rest of this qualifying session. Now that is a big blow to his chances here today, isn't it?
It is indeed. Jacob was just over a 10th off Lau's time, but we certainly have got quite a few quick drivers regardless in here, really, Westy. So we could potentially see a new challenger at the front of Tier 2 tonight, and could be potentially a surprise winner, because this track, as we both know quite well, is probably, well, not probably, definitely one of the harder tracks to drive on the game, really. But it is so rewarding.
Especially when how new it is as well.
It is so rewarding when you get it right, though.
100%, especially that dangerous right-hander. I believe it's turn 8. It's one that people hate, and Bassey's just had to go slightly off the racing line to avoid a slow car there on his flying lap, heading now down into the hairpin. This hairpin, the braking zone, quite hard to get right, but he's managed to get that quite nicely there. But he doesn't have to oversteer on the exit, but Bassey holding it quite well so far in his Alfa Romeo. Of course, fighting for the championship, as I said before, 21 minutes behind. We will have to wait and see. So Lau was the winner of the pole. Now, will he get pole position or not?
I think we could potentially be in for a surprise here today, Westy, to be honest with you. I think it could be a surprising race winner. Last season, when we did Portimao Tier 2, it was a very unexpected podium, so to say. It was the man who's currently qualified P8 in this one did actually take the race win here last season. And then it was myself and Eli who finished on the podium. So it was actually last season three Tier 3 drivers rounding out the podium in Tier 2. Could we potentially see a repeat of that here today?
Well, we know that Mint Elephant's got the pace, of course, a Tier 3 driver. We do... Eli, again, here in the Aston Martin. Can he repeat what he did last time out? Have to wait and see. And then who could join them? I've forgotten who else is Tier 3, I'm not going to lie.
EULR, he was placed in Tier 3, so I suppose you could count him as well in there.
You could, yeah, you could count him, although he's no longer Tier 3. But yeah, we'll go with it,
He is actually only a reserve for Tier 2 and 3, so...
Yes.
His TTs were on the borderline, so he is technically still Tier 3, so...
Yeah, we can count him in that. You know, someone who I've been wanting to see the pace of, especially after last week, of course getting P4 did Jobbo last week. We saw how much pace he had, but inconsistency really was his detriment.
Jobbo is a very fast driver, to be honest with you. I've raced with him a few times last season in our partner league, BBC. So he's definitely a very quick driver, and he could potentially be one to watch here, because if he shows the consistency and pace that he had last season in BBC, he certainly could be a contender.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Jobbo knows what he's doing behind the wheel of a car, just sometimes forgets, I think is the best way to put it. But he's now heading through the very tricky corner. Up the hill he goes and back down once again. Through now the flat-out left-hander into what's a very tricky braking zone, into a tightening corner where you really have to get it right, and he goes a little bit wide, and that is his lap invalidated. Big shame for him on that one. James has moved up into second place, looking very good in that Ferrari today. Was eager to get rating, and well, he's come in with a bang.
Someone who is on a lap currently, who I do not think we have seen race in IFC before, is Rambalorian.
I've commentated on him before. I'm not sure whether he's done a race in IFC.
That is
a good point.
ABRL Westy you've commentated on him.
Yes, it will be, won't it? Yeah.
Because he was one of my Tier 2 Williams ABRL drivers.
Yeah, he says Marcus the Stat King has confirmed.
Has confirmed that
This is his debut.
it is his debut, so nice to see the debutant Rambalorian here with us in IFC. Not the strongest of laps for him to start qualifying off. No. Only P17 for him, but when he is on his head, then we can certainly see a strong result for him.
So just on board with Koi there, and he, well, medium compound side was his first run. He was up in the first sector, of course. Actually up even though he backed out, because he has invalidated at turn 4. A little bit too much speed through there. And he's got 2 minutes to get back round, so he should be fine, but it's going to be a bit tighter than you would have wanted. That's going to put off Lewinsky there. His teammate, he was very, very close to the apex. Lucky Lewinsky on an out lap, but that definitely would have put him off there. Corey got to be slightly more careful and let him people through, I think. Now Vizza, he's got 2 podiums to his name, one of which was a win and one of which was a second place. They're his only points finishes so far this season. So what can he do here? We'll stay on board with him for the entire lap, this Aston Martin driver. What can he do? He's got cars to the right of him, but they get out the way. Oh, they didn't actually have to get out the way. They were already out the way. And he's got to push now to get back round. Vizza, but might run out of time here. He's invalidated his lap as the pretty much at the first corner. He's got 1 minute to get back round again. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he can actually get round and start that lap. He might have to let someone through. Same with Jake's first race as well. So Jake OR14, his first race in IFC, the Williams driver today. Let's see what he can do. Currently standing P7, so not looking bad in the slightest is Jake. And Lau, our current leader, is back out on track. And so is Bassi, third place currently.
How long is actually left of Quali Westy? Because I've got the timer as Quali is over.
It's not over. I mean, it says 2 seconds.
So my timing's just slightly
Something like
glitched then.
Yeah, I think it's about 2 seconds. It says, no, 10 seconds left, sorry. 10 seconds. Must have been on 20.
So, I think the one to really watch here is going to be Bassi. Rambalorian and Deaton, their laps are over, so neither of those will be improving. Deaton will be starting P19 here, then at Portimao. But the one I'm riding on board with at the moment is going to be Bassi, and Lau will not improve. So if Bassi or James can improve on their lap, then we could potentially see Lau not on pole position. Mint Elephant takes provisional pole with a 1:16.4. Bassi rounds the final corner. What's it going to be for Bassi here? It's going to be P2. Oh. Very, very close there. Let's roll down to AERL James now. 2 tenths up on his lap at the moment. Into the hardest corner on the track, I feel, here at Portimao. And rounds the fast sweeping right-hander. Kilgore with a 1:16.1. What a lap there for Kilgore. What's it going to be for James? It's going to be P2. This has been a very exciting end to qualifying. JCOR is invalid. EU LR is invalid. Visa crosses the line.
That's the end of qualifying.
Only enough for P13.
Kilgore in the end. So James would have got himself a pole position there, but his teammate stealing that off him at the final second. Kilgore, what a lap that is from him. Almost, he's over a tenth faster than James in the end. It's a Ferrari 1-2. Very, very nice. And Keep Hyper saying he made a stupid mistake. So watch out for him in the race, basically. That is much more in him.
That is Keep Hyper down to a T, though.
That is true. That is true. Did you forget my name?
He's not here in the party, so we can say that, Westy. But yeah, that is Keep Hyper down to a T.
Yeah, it 100% is. He makes those kind of mistakes quite a lot. And after that pole, it was loud. People were saying, "Would take pole position?" We got an echo.
Sorry, Westy. I was just checking the stream. Sorry about
that. No problem. But Drew, well, he voted 3 times for Kilgore. He would have been last in terms of who people predicted. Only got 2 different people voting for him. He's the one who took pole position. Probably not who people expected, but it's who people got as the man sat on pole position now.
Whilst
Let's
we
get this going.
are waiting for Quali Westy, I think it's time to give Silent X a quick mention, don't you think?
I would say so as well. Silent X, of course, are wonderful partners and affiliate. Probably best way to put it. They, of course, make energy drinks. I'm currently drinking it right now. The cherry one, at least. You can get 20. Is it still on 20% off with the code 1 year cherry?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 year anniversary of that, and you get 10% off with the code IFC as well. That's off of anything. So the apple and the cherry flavour, you can use the IFC code on 10% off, and it helps us out, of course. Helps them out. Make sure you do check them out. Have you tried the drink yet, Dan?
I have, yeah. The apple flavour is really nice. I want to try the cherry one myself personally, but I've not got around to it yet. But the apple flavour is absolutely amazing. So certainly worth giving Silent X a go. I think you didn't put Formation Lap on, must you?
No, I didn't, but we're going without any problem, and Kilgore gets a great start there. James right beside him. Lau moves up into P3 already. He's trying to hold on. He dives down the inside into turn 1. He's trying to make a move on the Ferrari driver here.
Wolf spun. Wolf has spun.
Bassi. He's going to be looking for it, but he can't quite make it work. Keep Hyper also dropping slightly down the order. Oh, Jobbo's round as well. And we see Mint Elephant on Lewinsky now. Can he make this move happen into the hairpin? He's going to try his best to go round the outside now with a Haas driver. Possibly with a switchback, but he's not quite close enough to make that one work. And Jacob is making his way back up the order, but he's not now. Eli says no, and he goes back round the outside. Now down the inside goes the Tier 3 reserve. And Jacob drops back down to 8th place again. Not looking great for our championship leader as it stands.
Oh, Yellow flags in sector 2. That is Rambalorian and EULR. So was there potentially some contact there between the two McLaren drivers?
Oh, he catches it. What a drift from Nossman in the end. Oh, not good for him, though, in the slightest. Deaton and Jobbo going either side of Nossman there. Jobbo's lost out completely. Deaton trying to make a move. Nossman still there around the outside again. Now down the inside goes Nossman. His tyres screaming at him. Because remember, he did just drift across half the track. But he somehow managed to hold it together. Deaton will be coming at him with a huge force behind him now as Coy has to pit. He must have got damage on that first lap.
Yeah, it's definitely been an exciting start to the Tier 2 string here today. What an end to qualifying. What a first lap of this race.
Oh, Deaton! 3 wide into turn 1. They get up the way.
Oh, Jobbo and Deaton.
Where is Deaton now? He's back on the track again. Wolf has got through, but they colliding left, right, and centre.
Deaton's got damage.
Rubbing. Oh, he definitely does. That's such a shame for Deaton. Such a shame as Wolf and Nossman go side by side. The two teammates, Jobbo and Keep Viper as well. Wolf is the back of Jobbo, pushing him along through the corner. The Alpine switched places, but the AlphaTauri couldn't quite get through that time round.
And Lewiski's round.
The same places. Oh, Lewiski, he hasn't managed to find his form quite yet this season. I thought today could be the day. He was looking so strong. And unfortunately for him, not quite the day for him. He drops back down to P10. His tyres will be screaming at him now, and he'll have to make his way back up the order. But Kilgo, 1.6 second lead, as DRS will be activated at the end of this lap.
I don't know if you saw it, Westy. I didn't hear you mention it myself, but Key Piper has picked up a 10-second time penalty. So that could pay dividends at the end of this race.
It really could. That will not be helpful for him, especially if he's right the way up there.
What happened there? What happened there with Key Piper? He is not having the best of luck today. No, there was contact with someone, but I'm not too sure who it was.
Not good for Key Piper. This really is not his day, as you just said. Is he going to fight Rambalorian? He's going to try to. Rubbing is racing again between the pair of them. And Key Piper really isn't having a good day now, is he? He's really fighting Rambalorian. I would let him through if I were him. You're on boiling hot tyres. You're oversteering everywhere. Just let the man through and let him race. And that's what he's done now.
And Coy down to P18 and Deaton as well in the pits. So yes, Deaton did pick up damage there in the Mercedes.
Lau is currently sat in P3. So after qualifying, has moved up 2 places in this race already, past Bassi and Mint Elephant. Mint Elephant actually dropping down 2 places since the start. So Lau and him basically just switching places. But Lau now will have DRS on James as they head into the final straight here and across the start-finish line. It's a long, long straight here in Portimao. He's got the slipstream, he's got the ERS, he's got the DRS. And this is going to be an easy move for Lau down the inside into turn 1. The AlphaTauri takes second place and will start to try and chase down Joe Kilgore in the lead.
I think the stewarding with this battle with Key Piper and Rambalorian is going to be a very, very interesting one when it comes to it.
Oh, Wolf's out! Well, he's retired in the pit lane, that's right.
I think the stewarding is certainly going to be an interesting one come Monday, Tuesday, whenever myself, Nifty, and the rest of the stewarding team do have time to do that, because there was some very questionable battling going on between those two there, and
yeah, I'm not going to turn up to that one.
I think Nifty, I think you might be on your own for that one, son, because I'm sure I've got something planned. I'm sure I have.
Yeah, I think I'm doing something on the Tuesday as well. And the Monday.
I think we're probably at the same place, actually, Westy, because I think you've got a race to commentate on. I've got a race to race. So it's certainly going to be one to watch. But back to this Tier 2 Grand Prix then, here at the sunny Portimao circuit. It hasn't been very sunny in all the other tiers this week, because every single tier, I believe, we have seen a spot of rain. But hopefully we have.
James on Lau back up into second place into turn 1. He's tried it. He's pushed Lau wide. And Lau holds on to position for the time being. James brake checks Bassi heading into turn 3. Bassi has the reactions to avoid it. Whoa, I think Bassi had a mini heart attack there. And he now has the DRS and the slipstream off of James. James got a bad X out of turn 4. He's going to be sending a move on him. He won't be happy with James after that turn 3 incident. And Bassi will be fighting as they head into turn 7 now. And he takes the place.
Can I just say, Westy, fair play to Eli. He's having a strong drive at the moment, P5 in this one. And
I was trying not to mention it so I didn't jinx it. I'm not going to lie.
I believe he is currently ahead of the current championship leader, because I believe it's Jacob currently leading the tier 2 championship, if I'm not wrong.
It is. But remember, last time Eli was this high up in a tier 2 race, the Whiskey's brakes pretty much failed and took both him and Sky on Desert out. That was back in Japan, if you guys remember that one. So, yeah, let's not get too happy too fast. I think Eli's going to have that in the back of his head, and hoping that that Lewiski is nowhere near him later on in this race if he stays where he is.
Oh, Keith Piper picks up another 10-second time penalty.
Yeah, I think he might as well retire. No offence to him, but he might as well. He's about to be lapped. He's got 20 seconds of penalties. I think his day is over as Week Arbors and Jake go side by side. Week's going to try and make the move into the hairpin now. He has the DRS, but can he get close enough? I think the answer is a no. The Williams driver stays ahead.
I'm currently watching this battle for P2 and 3 because this is close between these two. And Kilgore has been really impressive so far here today at Portimao. But down the main straight, if Kilgore can't get past Keith Piper, Kilgore is going to have DRS down the main straight. So that is certainly going to pay into his advantage. But I think, has he got past him yet? I believe he has.
Pete Piper went onto the grass to let him through.
Fair play to keep there. I think we could potentially see a retirement coming from the Mercedes driver. Not the 100%. Best of starts for Mercedes here today. Currently P17 and 18 as Bassi gets the DRS down the straight then on Lau. And Bassi is certainly going to want to be pushing hard here at Portimao because he is going to want to be closing that gap. And Lau picks up 3 seconds. That could be big for the end of this race because that will certainly gain Bassi a position if he doesn't gain any more, if Bassi doesn't gain penalties. And I think Bassi clearly has the pace around here, but I think
Currently Lau would be all the way down into P6 with just that one penalty. It's a big penalty to be getting this early in the race. Only on lap 7 of 33, remember. And this race feels like a very long one. So these guys are going to be... He's going to be stressing about that now, and he's going to be driving possibly extra careful to make sure he doesn't get another. But so will the other guys, because they know they'll immediately gain a place as long as Lau, of course, keeps that penalty, and as long as they don't get a penalty themselves. So they'll be driving slightly more carefully because they can afford to now. They don't have to make that overtake, or Bassi definitely doesn't have to make that overtake. He can stay where he is. James will get a podium as it stands. So Lau is the one who's going to be stressing now. He's going to be going, oh, I need to pick up the pace here. And Bassi only 5/10 away as they cross the line. He activates the DRS, starts heading down towards turn 1. What can Bassi do? Can he fight back? Can he take second place? I think he's going to decide against it due to Lau's penalty. And yes, he does decide against it. Probably could have sent a move, but he's a smart man, is Bassi. He knows he's fighting for a championship. He knows his biggest rival is 3 places behind him. As we have a safety car. Rambo's DNF'd and we have a safety car.
Yeah, so Keith Piper, 25 seconds of penalties now. So the way this race is going for Keith, I think we could potentially see a disqualification here, Westy.
Yeah, I think we could as well. So Dutton has just been saved. He was pretty, well, I say pretty close to being lapped. He was about a third of the lap off of being lapped, which is pretty close this early in the race. So he's been pretty much saved by that. He'll be fine. Now, the question is, though, will people pit? Let's have a look at the tyres currently. So I think we'll see all the soft compound runners pit, but will we see any medium runners pit and go on to that hard compound tyre? We'll have to wait and see, won't we? James is going to be hoping he doesn't get held up if Kilgore pits, if he wants to pit as well. He should be fine. Lau driving quite slowly under the safety car currently. And yeah, Kilgore will be pulling into pits then. Lau, does he follow him? Yes, he does. Bassi follows him. James follows him. Eli follows him. And Jacob follows him. Jacob might have a problem in terms of being held up in the pit lane here. And Jake will stay out. So does Weekarbers. And so does Vizza. So does Jobbo. So I think we'll just see the soft compound runners pit here. All the mediums will stay out. Kilgore's headed on to the mediums. James has only just been held. That's very good from the Ferrari team to get that one to work. But Jacob will be held for slightly longer there. Only a tiny bit longer, but he is held slightly longer than he would have wanted to be. But he doesn't lose any positions. He was lowest of the soft compound runners pitting, so he's fine. He'll just take him slightly longer to get onto the pack.
This is a very interesting race, Westy. I tell you what, I've really enjoyed the start we've had here, because this has been one of the starts of the season, in my eyes anyway. I don't know what you think. You've commentated on much more than I have this season. I think it's the first time I've actually done a Tier 2 race this season. But, yeah, we've had a awesome start to this race.
Had a wonderful start.
And
And something that's just happened, actually, is Eli's jumped James in the pit lane. He's up into provisional P4 now, is Eli. He's looking very, very strong in this one.
All I'm going to say is, Westy, and Keep does retire in the end in the pits. His day is done. But all I'm going to say is, Westy, I said at the start of this race, we could be in for a surprise. And I think if Eli does get on the podium, or Ellie, should I say, sorry, because that's his name now, I think that would be a surprise to quite a few people. We know Eli's got the pace, but this is a ultra competitive tier, and we have some very fast drivers in this tier who could easily hang with the tier 1 guys in the likes of
100%.
Bassi, Lau, Jacob, Kilgore, just to name 4 of them. Obviously, Vizza has previously been tier 1 in IFC, Weekarbers as well. So there's 6 people. You've got Lewiski, Nossman as well. Nossman last season was absolutely rapid, and it just seems like he's lost his touch a bit this season, and isn't as competitive as he was. What do you say, Westy?
Same as you. Same as you.
I wasn't rapid last season.
Touch. Yeah, but you were faster.
I was fast last season, to be fair, but that was because I had the time to put into practice. But literally now, the only practice I get is 10-15 minutes before a race.
Yeah.
But I seem to get better results doing that way. Obviously, yesterday didn't really go that well for me in Tier 3, but it worked at Baku, and Baku is one of the tracks that I normally...
Has just been let through by Jake? Was that just changed, or was that already the order?
No.
The other just now.
Jake was at the front.
So Week has now taken first place. I think a glitch by the game, forcing Weekarbers to go through. So Week is now leading the pack. And that just shows how glitchy the game is. But that beautiful red Mercedes will be pulling into the pits in just 1 second. And then we should be going again. Yeah, safety car in this lap. Week will lead us off. He knows exactly how to do it. And we'll have to wait and see who gets a good start here and who bottles it. Who doesn't have the reaction times and who does. Who can predict what Week is going to do, or what the person in front of you is going to do. More like if you're in a party with Week and you're like P14, if you're, let's say, Mint Elephant, his teammate, you're looking very good right now, because you'll tell you when to go and you'll get a big jump on everyone in front of you. But here we go. Weekarbers, when's he going to go? The answer is not yet.
He's gone.
The answer's now, he's gone, but Jake is right on his tail. Jake knew he was going to go very quickly, so Jake is gone with him. EULR gets ahead of Kilgore after Kilgore.
Eli jumps Bassi and Lau.
The line. Eli jumping Lau. Can he get himself past Lau now? Again, he's going to try and go around the outside of turn 3. As Lau goes down the inside of Kilgore into turn 3. Can Lau now make this move, or can Eli make the move? Oh, Eli lagging so much. This is textbook Eli here, lagging all over the place and confusing everyone in front of him. As James now goes down the inside of Eli. Eli lagging all over the place still. 3 wide between them. Kilger's now in a sandwich between McLaren and Lau. He drops to the back of it again. He's not going to risk his car there. But Lau now takes provisional first. But Kilger down the inside again. Lau loses the position. A slight mistake from him has dropped him down to P7.
And James has
Bassi
spun.
is in P8 once again. Who spun?
I think James might have spun there because he's dropped back significantly.
He has, hasn't he? Possibly a bit of a moment from him there. Nosman trying to get ahead of Deaton. He goes down the inside, and that position is now here. Deaton really struggling today as Bassi gets ahead of Lau. Lau dropping down the order now. His car not very good on this set of tyres, it seems, as Jacob gets ahead as well. The 2 Alfa Romeos possibly set up to be able to be better on that medium compound tyre. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, by the end of the race, it could just be that they warmed up their tyres slightly better at the start of this one. But Kilger's got to get himself past what are almost back markers at this stage. On a different strategy, he's got to get himself through. He's got to get himself to the front here as Eli and Lewinsky go side by side. Eli down the inside, Lewinsky on the outside. They touch wheels multiple times as Eli now goes down the inside of turn 3. Lewinsky out on the outside, and Lewinsky could not quite hold on. As Coy now going from the
I think Lau must have damage.
Could switch positions. Yeah, Lau must have had damage there. As Coy and Lewinsky fighting slightly there, but now Coy having to defend against James, and he holds on as Eli stays ahead of Lewinsky. Eli having a good race so far, but unfortunately for him, has slightly dropped off at the back of what were the front runners.
Eli is doing very well here, to be fair. Not had the best of seasons in Tier 3, but that's classic Eli. In his own tier, he can sometimes struggle, but...
Oh, McLaren and Kilger touch! And McLaren round, Kilger carries on. Oh, that's such a shame for EULR there. And James goes off the track as well. Both those drivers, devastation as James gets the 3-second penalty. Not good at all for them as Jacob now on Bassi heading down to turn 1. He has the ERS. I think he's actually being let through here. Yes, he is. No fighting there from his teammates. And the Alfa Romeo switch position heading down into turn 1.
Viz has got 3 seconds.
From them. That's the bit of the rust that he's kind of getting off. He's just trying to make it work at the moment. He's just I think he's just kind of easing himself back into it at this stage as Vizza. Of course, doesn't get much time to play this game. He's very focused on, of course, football, and he was on holiday the last 2 weeks, so could not race at all.
He was actually
trying to get back. Was he not?
Where
was he last week?
He was in England.
He was commentating on a Burnley match, wasn't he?
He was commentating on Burnley match, yes.
Of course, Vizza supporting Burnley. He got to commentate on a Burnley match, and yeah.
For people who don't know,
Jake.
Vizza is quite a big FIFA YouTuber, isn't he, Westy? So
200,000 subscribers, I believe.
Yeah, so he's quite a big YouTuber on FIFA. Not as well known as the big boys, so to say, but he certainly is fairly well known on the FIFA scene. But less of the FIFA talk, more of the F1 talk. And
he's trying to make a name for himself in F1, isn't he? And he's almost in the lead of the race again here. Is Vizza. I say again, he's almost got himself into the lead of the race. Weak Arbour's only one in between him and first. He's very much on the rear end of Weak now. Does he have the speed to be able to overtake him? He had to lift through there, but Weak had to put off the track. Jake, though, on his tail. He's not close enough to make a move, but he does manage to defend as well. So no moves happening at the moment. A massive DRS train going from 1st to 11th with Lau setting fastest lap. He's going to be pushing to get on the back of these guys again.
He certainly is. And Lau does get another 3 seconds there.
Not good.
But who has been the surprise package for you so far here today, Westy?
I have to say, Mint Elephant, and that's surprised in the wrong way, as he surprised me with how actually quite slow and inconsistent he's been. Normally known for being very fast and very consistent is Mint Elephant, even in Tier 2, and today, obviously sitting last, not quite his usual self around this track.
Yeah, Mint, obviously, as you said, Westy, normally one of the most consistent drivers there is.
Sorry, Vizza going for move for the lead now, down into turn 1, and that position is his. Vizza takes the lead of the race.
Wee gets 3 seconds.
Top 3 all on the same map. Penalties now as Jacob almost hits the back of Kilger. They're heading into turn 3, and that slowed himself and his teammate down in the process. Not good for them, but Kilger is now just being held up almost. He'll go for a move though, down into the hairpin, down the inside of Jobbo. He's gone a little bit deep there as Kilger, but he's managed to make it work. Eli gets spun! Eli's been spun in the background, and he drops down to P11 after getting himself back up again after what was, I think, another spin. He's back down to P11 and outside of the points once again. Jobbo getting overtaken by Jacob there as well.
When do you think we'll see the front 3 decide it is time to pit? Because the pace...
Lap 22.
Really, there isn't a lot of difference between Kilgore and the front 3 at the moment. But surely they will start thinking about the soft tyres. As you said, Westy, probably around lap 22. But it certainly is something that these guys are going to be hoping there's potentially another safety car, because as it stands at the moment, the
drop to P15. 14,
yeah,
sorry. But yeah,
and they ain't going to want that.
Not in the slightest. That would not be good for them. They'll have to fight their way all the way back up the order. This DRS train not helping them at the moment. They need to set themselves free and start pulling away, but something they just can't quite do as Coy spins as well. Coy being played with inconsistency so far this season. Drops down to P11. And outside the DRS train now is Coy. He's going to have to push to get on the back of that.
He really is. Kilgore, I think, if he keeps going the way he is, could be on for a victory here at Portimao. I'm not too sure where Kilgore is in the standings. I know at the start, towards the start of the season, he was quite high up at the start. He's third. So, what's the gap, Westy? Do you know what the gap is between the top 3 at the moment in the championship?
So the gap between first and second is 21 points, and that's between Jacob and Bassi. Then the gap from there, I have to double check because I cannot remember. The gap from there is actually quite big. It's a 25-point gap between Kilger and Bassi, but only a 4-point gap between Kilger and Coy, who are 3rd and 4th. And Vizza, quite a way out of it actually, in 5th place currently.
He has missed 4 races this season, Vizza has, so to be that high up, certainly the races he's done, he has shown very strong form, so that is good to see, especially for Vizza himself, that missing those races, he still can contend and still be that high up.
Yep, he can be high up. As I said earlier on in the stream, he's only scored points twice though. That was in the first race of the season and 2 races ago in Japan. He won Japan and came 2nd in the first race of the season. So I think another one of those drivers plagued with inconsistency, and then unfortunately not turning up some races has screwed him over in some way.
As Kilgore gets a little snap of oversteer there, trying to make an overtake on Week.
Kilgore's pushing, you can see it. He's absolutely gunning for it now. He's trying to get himself through at every single corner. This is where the mistakes happen. This is where the hot-headedness comes out, and he almost touches Arbors there. So close between the pair of them. Just manages to avoid him, and that will set him off here. He's going to be absolutely going for it.
Week hasn't got the battery to defend.
I think Week will lose 2 positions here. Jacob going around the outside as well. And that will just about be Jacob's position. Yes, it will, but he gets 3-second time penalty in the process as Bassi tries to get through. Arbors dives down the inside and gets what he deserves. In a way there. Yeah, that was a bit stupid. That's what he should have expected.
I am stupid.
You are.
I am very stupid.
Eli trying to make a move on Jobbo now, up into P8 on the fresher tyres, of course, but it's actually come under fire from Nosman now. Nosman down the inside, possibly. Not quite going to happen for the Alpine driver. Eli holds on. It really is. Make a move or get overtaken. So if they're going for a move, they have to know it's going to be a high percentage move there.
But yeah, Kilgore, I think, will get Visa this lap. What's Visa's battery situation? He's on 27%, while Kilgore is on 60%. So Kilgore does have significantly more battery over Visa.
Actually, significantly more battery than Jacob as well in P3. Jacob only got 20%, and so Kilgore 30% more than the pair of them, 40% more almost than Visa now. Is heading into turn 1. He's not going to be close enough. He'll have to do it down into turn 5 if he's going to make this one happen. Jake passes Weak Arbors, and that's actually a battle between two people on the same strategy there. So Jake back up into P3 of the people on the old medium tyres.
And Eli picks up a penalty just sir.
Eli struggles with penalties, it's fair to say. But now a move for 6th place is afoot for Lewiski. Can he get himself round Weak Arbors into the hairpin? He's going to try his hardest, but he gets pushed slightly wide. Will rejoin the track side by side with Weak once again. And he's going to try and make this one stick, and he does make it stick. He's up into P6.
These two have had battles in the past. Obviously, both, every other season, bar this one, have been Tier 1 drivers. So, Weak Arbors... obviously full-time Tier 1 driver for the first 3 seasons of IFC, and Just Lewiski as well. And Just Lewiski, a previous Tier 1 IFC champion.
First IFC champion, wasn't he? First Tier 1 IFC champion was Lewiski. Season 1, he won it, I believe. Am I correct in saying that?
That is correct, Westy, yes. However...
TJ won Season 2, and then it was Carsey in Season... Oh no, Carsey won Season 2.
Yeah, TJ just bottles championships more than Oscar, so... Obviously...
TJ very good at that.
Obviously, Season 1, TJ was in command of the Tier 1 championship. Season 2, he wasn't in command, but...
He was fighting Carsey for it. Then in Austria, Carsey made that infamous move down into turn 3, which settled the championship and meant that TJ could not quite make it work in the championship any longer. Carsey won that. And then last season, if you guys watched Tier 1 last season, it would have been a bit of a bore fest in the championship fight because Carsey was in a league of his own, even starting multiple races on purpose at the back for a little bit of fun.
Or, as someone said the other week, that Carsey guy. So that Carsey guy will be back tonight.
Oh, Jacob spun!
Deaton.
Our championship leader has spun! Deaton retires in the pit lane. James gets past Jacob. Has Jacob got damage?
I think we could potentially see the medium runners who have been on their tyres for 19 or so laps. We could potentially see those guys starting to think about boxing around about now, really. I did it yesterday in Tier 3. And my tyres were still good to go to the end when...
Eli ran the outside of Weak Arbors. He literally ran out of ERS there. They bang wheels again. Eli just about holding on to the car. Now going around the outside of Weak Arbors. Arbors trying to hold on, but he couldn't quite make it work. And Coy now is going to try and get past him. He won't be able to, but can Weak defend? Can he attack now on Eli? No, he can't. He stays behind.
And Jacob has made the decision to pit for fresh softs.
So he must have had damage.
He must.
He decided to go for it. It drops down to last. Could we see the championship leader not scoring any points? Could we see Bassi taking control of the championship once again? Maximum he can be leading coming out of this race is by 5 points. The only man, apart from Jacob, who can be leading the championship. He has to win to be able to do it. Of course, that gap currently 21 points. 25 points for lead, 20 for the win, and 26 if you get fastest lap along with that. Weak Arbor is dropping places left, right, and centre. So Weak Arbors is probably going to have to put into pits very, very soon.
I think we could potentially see him in this lap, to be fair. Jobo and Jake both decided to stay out for a little bit longer, and Arbors is in.
Arbors has pulled in. And Bassi getting overtaken by Jake there into turn 1. Jake on the older tyres getting past someone on much, much fresher tyres.
So
that is weird.
Kilgore has got himself a little bit of a gap on this now. The older medium tyres certainly starting to die off a little bit here. at Portimao, but the
Eli and Jobbo. It's not going to happen. Nos and on Koi, also not going to happen.
I think we will maybe see Visa in this lap because he is dropping off every single lap now off the back of Kilgore, and I think if he leaves it much longer, then he could potentially harm his chances of a points finish here. But let's see, is Visa going to come in this lap? We'll have to wait and see. I don't think he is. No. Visa is staying out. Jake OR is
that
in.
Blue light, that pit light, not
Bassi
on for Visa
is
yet.
in. Bassi is in.
Oh, he must have had damage. He must have had damage. That's not good for him. He drops down the order. So the two championship rivals having to pit now and drop right the way down the order. But yeah, Visa not even scheduled to pit yet. Of course, the light does go blue in the bottom right corner. That little spanner goes blue when your scheduled pit stop lappers has come up. As Eli trying to go down the inside of Jobbo now, and he makes it work. Eli up into provisional second place as now Jobbo fights back, but he doesn't get the exit he needs. Eli, if he keeps it clean from here on out, could we see a win for him today? It meaning that Kilgore has to slow down slightly, and it might mean that Kilgore has to get maybe spin or something. But all it takes is a mistake from Kilgore, and Eli is up into the lead.
Hot off the press, Westy. Kilgore is currently on 2 warnings.
That's quite a lot of warnings. You don't really want to be sat one away, especially when you know you've got some fights coming your way in the coming laps. Of course, last week getting annoyed with 2 penalties he got. So this week he's going to be trying his hardest to not get any as Visa doesn't pull in again.
I do certainly think Eli certainly has the pace to win this one.
I would agree. I would 100% agree. And Carsey would be a happy man if he does. Eli going to be pushing at the moment, trying to hold on. But Jobbo right behind him. Jobbo just being dragged along. And Koi now right there as well. Koi, after what has to be said, was a very bad start to this race and a spin partway through as well. Not great for him, but now up into P5, provisional P2, P3, sorry, not too bad as EULR has retired in the pit lane. It will not cause a safety car. We've got 14 drivers left. Lau still last of them. Actually, second last now.
Yeah, this has been a interesting race from lights out to where we are now, and
it really has. And of course, the championship gets blown wide open here if it stays as it is. Bassi and Jacob not scoring points, Koi and Kilgore getting good points today. That would mean a lot for those drivers. Kilgore would jump just ahead.
Eli's in
of Bassi. Eli is in the pits. That's interesting. So is Job. Why is Eli in the pit lane? Why is Eli in the pit lane? That's so weird. Onto the soft. Doesn't need a wing change. That's a really weird strategy. Maybe he thought they were going to catch up and there was no point in trying to do the rest. Jobbo's on the hards. Now that is a bad strategy. And I can tell you that without even having to watch his first couple laps. Because the softs can make the end. Eli has jumped Bassi and Jacob with that.
He has indeed.
So Eli, second of the soft compound runners, with 1 lap fresher tyres than Jake, and what has to be said, better overall pace than Jake. Can these guys fight through the pack and possibly take the win here today? One person hasn't pitted in this race. That man is Visa. When will he pit? He's taken these tyres 24 laps, almost 25 laps now. Surely they have to be screaming. Surely he has to pit.
Surely he does.
Will he pull in? The answer is again no. I think he's waiting for a safety car here. I don't think it's going to arrive.
If a safety car
could that one, no.
I was thinking. I would just check that myself, Westy. His
But
tyres
no, he did not
must
pit
be
that one.
screaming at him.
You know what though? He's holding pace with Kilger. Kilger not gaining too much in recent laps. It's not bad from Vizza at all. His pace isn't really dropping off, which is very surprising. Bearing in mind that, of course, he's on 25 lap old mediums. You would expect them to be pretty dead by now, but actually no, he's holding on quite nicely. I don't think he wants to come off the tyres. I think he'd be very happy finishing the race on these, but he's not allowed. Ah,
Yeah.
Turbo forgot to change to the soft, so he's stuck on the hards.
Ah.
Rookie error. Rookie error there. Who do you think's going to win this race then?
It's going to be a tough one. I think Kilgore now has to be the favourite because obviously Vizza having to pit. But you can't rule out Coy. He is a very quick driver. And James looking quite strong. I think if Eli hadn't have pitted, he would certainly be my favourite, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know why Eli pitted. He didn't have damage. Yeah, really odd decision there from him. Maybe he thought, oh, this strategy is going to be faster. No, it doesn't seem to be faster unless the mediums drop off ridiculously soon. But I don't think they will. Bearing in mind, Vizza is catching on Kilger currently on 26 lap old mediums. Is he going to pit on the second last lap? Is that possibly what he's going to do? Oh, who knows? But this is very, very weird strategy from Kilger. Still waiting out from Vizza. Still waiting out for a safety car, I think. But it's just not going to arrive.
Safety car comes as Vizza pits.
That would be amazing. That would be perfect timing. As Jacob gets past Ricarbers now up into P11. But again, for Kilger, this is the best possible result as it stands. His championship rivals are so far away. For Coy, this is great as well. He'll finish P2 as it stands. And that will put him much, much closer to the top two. It will put Kilger inside that top two, or at least next to them anyway. So this will be a very, very helpful race for Kilger and for Coy, getting themselves right back into the championship fight. All it takes is one bad race and it gets blown right the way wide open again.
It does indeed. Vizza still hasn't pit.
Interesting. I don't know why he hasn't. He must be waiting for a safety car, but safety cars don't normally come out this late. Of course, we saw in Baku a safety car that came out with like 3 laps to go, and of course went in on the final lap, and that allowed us a 1-lap dash to the line. But it's surely not going to happen again.
You can guess what I was saying, and Carsey was saying as the Mercedes team leaders. Cue Toto Wolff impression, please, Westy. No, Mikey.
That has to be a seat. Oh, why? Why are you saying that?
With 1 lap to go in Tier 1.
Oh, right. What was wrong with that?
We had Max Verstappen, obviously, that happened at Baku. Not Baku, it was Abu Dhabi.
Well, yeah, but why were you thinking that?
Because it could have decided a championship. But
oh, right, yeah. Carsey and a BC boy, of course, a BC boy, and Hypes having a collision in Tier 1 Baku, let's call it that, into the pit lane, causing a BC boy to crash out, and ending in Hypes' disqualification from that race. So Carsey did the sportsmanship thing, the sportsman-like thing, and decided to retire at the end there.
As did the other contender for the championship as well, Aiden.
Aiden didn't decide to retire. He was disqualified from the race due to... I think he was disqualified, wasn't he? Or given some kind of penalty?
No, he did retire from the race, but because of the issues with the first lobby, he did pick up a race ban for this week.
Ah, right, so Aiden will not be racing this time out. After... Well, I think he forgot to brake down into... down into turn 1 though. His wheel disconnected.
We will be seeing the current race leader.
Here we go.
Of this race in Tier 1 this evening. So if he can show his pace he has here, Kilgore is certainly going to be one to watch in Tier 1.
He definitely is. Of course, us two, again, if you're sick of our voice now, you're going to be very much sick of it by the end of that race. But Koi now catching Kilgore very, very fast. And Kilgore's pace starting to slightly drop off here. Eli's caught up to Jake, should be able to take himself up into P6, but this is nowhere near, I think, where we all expected him to be. If he hadn't pitted, he could be leading currently. Eli gets another 3-second time penalty. He dives down the inside of Jake. I think he's going to go for it. Yes, he does. Down the inside he goes. Breaks a little bit too late. Jake goes for the switchback. And I think Jake has this one. He gets a good acceleration, but no, actually Eli gets a good enough acceleration out the corner. It's a good enough drive and gets P6. It is really hotting up at the front. 1 second gap at the moment for the lead. Can Koi get himself within that DRS range? I think he's going to be dropping a lot of ERS to try and make it work this lap. I don't think it's quite going to work for him. No, it's not. He doesn't quite get it. So James will have it on him. These guys running out of ERS. Koi completely ran out just there. James on 6%. Kilgore on 4%. These guys running out very, very fast of their battery deployment. As Koi now within a second of Kilgore. Could we see a fight for the lead? A 3-way fight for the lead? I think we can.
I agree with you, SD. Things are certainly starting to heat up here between the front three, and now we are guaranteed to not have a safety car in this race, because obviously we only have 3 laps remaining. So in the game, a safety car never normally comes out with 3 laps to go. So I don't think we'll see a safety car here this evening, Westy.
Will either. It's very unlikely that we will get a safety car. So it will just be a straight fight between the front 3 then as we head into the final laps here. It's Kilgore leading, Koi second, James third. And as they cross the line, we'll have 2 laps remaining. Kilgore leading. He's got to try and hold off Koi. But remember, Koi with a penalty, and so does James, and Kilgore without one. So that's going to be crucial on the end of this race. Kilgore has got to make sure he doesn't get another penalty as Vizzy gets one more, and that, as it stands, will drop him down to only 1 point. Pitting so late in the race just hasn't worked out for him. Jake, remember, was on the same strategy as him, pitted much earlier, and is 2 places ahead with 1 less penalty. Koi is right on Kilgore's rear end there. Now James has the ride on Koi, because Koi was held up slightly by Kilgore. Is allowed the other Ferrari to make a move. It's a 2v1 between the Ferrari boys, and Koi's been spun. Koi gets pushed round by James and Kilgore, almost like a double pendulum effect there. Being hit from the front and behind in opposite directions, helping him spin even faster. And Koi drops to P3, and he's got to now hold on to this 3rd place. He's definitely not going to win. It's between the 2 Ferrari boys. Will it be Kilgore? Will it be James? It's looking very, very good for Ferrari. Aiden's going to be celebrating with this one. He'll be annoyed that his Alfa Romeo guys are so far down, but he'll be very, very happy with how, of course, his main team, Ferrari, are doing today.
Obviously, Alfa Romeo are clear in the Constructors' Championship, I believe, in Tier 2.
Much so. Closest is Aston Martin currently, and they will be getting not many points today, unfortunately. Here we go, on to the final lap. James with the DRS. Right behind Kilgore. Is he close enough to make a move? They're both on 1% ERS. Didn't quite run out before the line, but it was very close and before the braking zone. And, well, James, I don't think this move is going to happen for him. I think Kilgore has got it. Remember, sitting on 2 warnings. Any mistake from Kilgore here will send James through and give him a penalty, and that's not what he'll want.
James has got the run.
Try and take it on track, though. Down the inside he goes. He goes so deep. So hot into that corner goes James. But he's still right there. He's still right on Kilgore's tail. Can he make this one work? He's going to be pushing pretty much pushing Kilgore around the corner there. And again, taps the back of him. James going to be so careful. But I think this is Kilgore's race to win now. As long as he doesn't make a mistake, as long as he doesn't get a penalty, Kilgore will win here in Portimao. We've just got to go through the final sector of this pretty short lap. And he will take the win in Tier 2. And James is going for it. He's gone down the inside. He's going to try and make this one work. If he can push Kilgore slightly off the track, maybe he can get him a warning as well. But they go side by side through the second last corner. Kilgore's going to look for the better exit here. Kilgore ahead. James second as they come through the final corner. Who's going to get the better run to the line? James will. But who will take the race win on track? But it will be Kilgore taking the win on track.
What a battle.
It's Coy third. Nossman fourth. The Whiskey will actually take P4 in the end, so it's a 1-2 for Ferrari, a 3-4 for Red Bull. P5 is Nossman, P6 is Bassi in the end, P7 Jake, P8 Eli, P9 will be Vizza, P10 Jobo takes home Joe actually takes home 2 points in the end, just gets ahead of Vizza. Jacob doesn't take home a point. Our championship leader goes scoreless here in Portimao. Lau, who's looking so good after qualifying, and in the first couple laps of the race, finishes P13. It's Arbors P12, and Mint Elephant finished the race right down in P14.
Yeah, certainly. What a race Tier 2 has proved to be here at Portimao. And I'll tell you what, I am looking forward to Tier 1, because if that race was anything to go by, we know what to expect here for Tier 1, because Tier 2, obviously the second highest tier. Tier 1 is the elite of the elite, so we certainly will be in for a treat at the Tier 1 Grand Prix.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much for watching. What a race it was. Kilgore with the win, James second, Coy third, Lewiski fourth, Nossman fifth, and of course that puts Kilgore right the way back up there in the championship fight. Same with Coy. Coy coming back after a very bad qualifying as well. But a 1-2 for Ferrari, a 3-4 for Red Bull. What a race that was. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you do tune in 14 minutes for Tier 1. See you guys then.